afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we check in with Al Bina from the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum. It's already open for the season. We'll get all the details. First, though, we do check out the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's 27 degrees, partly sunny out there after the morning flurries that blew through. We might have some more of those later on this afternoon. It is brisk, too. Temperatures only in the low 30s. And the wind making it feel even colder. Look at tonight. We're dropping down into the teens this evening with wind chills even colder than that. A slight recovery tomorrow with some sunshine. It will still be brisk, a little warmer, high around 40 degrees, a little warmer still on Wednesday with some afternoon and evening showers. Wednesday's highs around 50 and warmer still on Thursday, but it comes with more rain both in the morning and the afternoon. Thursday's highs in the lower 60s. Right now, partly sunny, breezy, 27 degrees in Quincy. In the news today, for the second year in a row, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch is waiving liquor license permit fees to help small businesses recover from the pandemic. Koch says there will be some restrictions on outdoor dining. However, the fees will be waived.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, we're going to make some adjustments on what we permitted. We were pretty open and loosey-goosey. I say that respectful way, so that, businesses could survive. But we are going to make some adjustments on what they can and can't do. I'm not a fan of Jersey barriers in the gutter line. I think sidewalk use is fine, but we're going to be making some adjustments so that people can't just do what they want. There's going to have to be some order to it, and so we'll be making a few adjustments, but I don't anticipate us instituting a charge at all for the businesses in the city. I still think they're still reeling from the COVID, and I'm a believer that we ought to do everything we can to help them build their business.
Now, restaurants will still be required to obtain special permits from the licensing board for that outdoor dining. However, the fees for full liquor licenses for sit-down restaurants will be waived for the second year in a row. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says he is planning to dedicate a proposed new performing arts center in Quincy Center to First Ladies Abigail and Louisa Catherine Adams. Mayor also says he wants to have marble statues of both First Ladies installed inside that new performing arts center. Koch was responding to complaints from people who said that a statue of Abigail and John Quincy Adams that was moved from Quincy Center for the Hancock Adams Common construction should not be located at Marymount Park. But the mayor says the Adams family has a strong connection to Marymount Park. He feels that that site is appropriate. The mayor is hoping to ban so-called nips, those small liquor bottles, throughout the city. Mayor Koch says the bottles of booze can have a negative impact on restaurants and the environment.
They do. We talked about this before, and then we backed off a little bit while the COVID was happening. But the nips they're a major nuisance as far as litter goes. They get into the storm drain system, which gets out into the ocean. They're a major environmental issue. There's also the issue of people bringing nips in their pocketbooks or pockets in the restaurants, and they're augmenting their drinks with nips. And I don't think that's fair to an establishment who's held liable if somebody leaves that restaurant and they're considered intoxicated. Their license could be in jeopardy. So, I don't think that's fair to an establishment either. So I think for all the right reasons, we need to do this. And hopefully the license board will see the wisdom in it.
Some liquor store owners worry that a ban on those nips could negatively impact their business. Others say it won't solve the pollution problem. Mayor says he will ask the Board of License Commissioners to approve the ban on nips by this summer. Quincy man's been charged with selling large quantities of drugs in Weymouth. 25-year-old Arbel Abar was arrested after a motor vehicle stop on Main Street in Weymouth, where police say they seized fentanyl, oxycodone, and cocaine valued at over $35,000, along with over $4,000 in cash and some cell phones. Abar's arrest came after a short investigation by Weymouth Police and the South Shore Drug Task Force. Abar now faces drug trafficking and possession charges in Quincy District Court. Two people are charged with selling drugs in Quincy recently. Police say 30-year-old Katrina Rogers from Charlestown and 28-year-old Rashad Skinner of Nashua, New Hampshire, were both arrested after allegedly selling crack cocaine and marijuana in a parking lot on Washington Street in Quincy Point. The Drug Control Unit says it was watching those suspects because they are known drug dealers, then made the arrest after stopping their vehicle on Quincy Shore Drive. Police recovered those drugs and over $2,500 in cash, along with some cell phones in the vehicle. Both are now charged with possession and distribution of controlled substances. Mannett Community Health Center of Quincy will present its highest honor to its pandemic response team. The Mannett Board of Directors has voted unanimously to present the Mannett Medallion to all the volunteers who assisted with their COVID-19 vaccination efforts over the course of the pandemic. Now, the award will be presented at Mannett's signature June Bloom fundraising event on June 9th at Lombardo's in Randolph, the first in-person June Bloom since 2019. Now, since 2005, Mannett's presented the Medallion Award to an individual or a group who significantly lifted, supported, championed, or advanced the health center's dedication to providing accessible, high-quality health care to the community. To date, Mannett has provided over 50,000 COVID-19 vaccinations and over 32,000 COVID tests. That is our check of news. Coming up, Al Bina of the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum will join us. That's next. Welcome back. Another sign of spring is the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum is actually already open. And Al Bina, the president, has stopped on by to give us a little update on how things are going. Al, it's great to see you.
Great to be here, Joe. You know, it's always great to be here.
Yeah, appreciate it, really do. When I found out that the museum had already been open, even before spring sprang,
right?
We were open in the winter. Yeah.
We tried to open in March. We did open in March, but it ended up we even had a little snow still around the turning mill up there.
Yeah.
And then it turned a little icy that night, so it was kind of tough for people to walk around the turning mills. But we did open. We got about 20 people that did those 2 days, which was really good for us.
That's nice. Yeah, very nice. For folks who might not be aware, let's give a little recap of what the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum is and where it is.
Yep, Quincy Quarry Granite Workers Museum is actually trying to save the complete history of the granite industry here in Quincy, covering the stone workers, the quarry workers, and we try to do even the industries that supported it, the
Yes.
blacksmiths, the transportation. So we try to cover the whole aspect of the granite industry here in Quincy.
The shipping industry comes into play, right? The railroad industry
The
comes into
railroad,
play.
sure. Yeah.
The owners of the quarries certainly as
Yeah.
well are as another aspect of it. So it was a major force of industry in this city for a long time.
Right. Yeah. At the turn of the century, it was one of the largest. It was the largest employer here in the city of Quincy.
Sure.
Basically.
Sure. So you're trying to.
It's amazing the immigrants that came to the city, the wave of immigrants that came to the city of Quincy here, around the turn of the century.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
A lot of Scandinavian workers, I know. Italian workers came. German workers came as well. So it really ran the gamut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, as you study the history of it, the granite industry, is how they settled in certain enclaves of the city.
Yeah.
And even today, there are still enclaves of certain ethnic individuals that are in that same part of the city.
Sure.
Specifically, like around the Bruce Corner area, that was the Finnish and the Swedish area. There's still a lot of Finnish and Swedish families that live in that area today.
Certainly. Yeah. So the museum, what year is the museum in now, Al? What year is this for the museum?
We're in the 8th year of our museum.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that from inception to now, or when you first got your physical structure till now?
Well, that was about the inception.
Okay.
When we first got our 501c3.
8 years ago?
Between 8 and 10 years, because
Okay.
it took about a year and a half to get the 501c3.
I remember,
Yeah. But as they say in the granite business, Joe, we're still chipping away at it. But don't take anything for granted.
Every time you come,
Every
you have to
time,
say
I
that.
gotta
It's going to be
say
your trademark. I'm going to start to call you Granite Man, I think. We'll put a big G on your
G,
chest.
yeah.
Where is the actual museum, the physical location of it?
The physical museum is up at the old Lions Turning Mill,
Right.
which is turning mill that actually turned these monolithic granite columns, 30-foot granite columns, 4 foot in diameter. We have a little museum located right at the mill.
Okay.
And we've got a lot of information in a little area, but we figured get this information out, and if people are willing to walk around and spend the time and read about it, we get the information out there for them.
Yep.
You know,
It's at the end of Raschuti Drive, right? You just, if you're going up to Granite Links, go past the entrance, keep on going around to the right, and it's on the left-hand side.
right at the end of Raschuti Drive, and
Yep.
take a right, and we're 100 yards down on the left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is the museum? You're the president, but what is the actual makeup of the museum?
Yeah, I am the president of the Quarry Museum.
Yep.
We have a vice president, a secretary, treasurer, the whole gamut of offices,
Yep.
trustees. We
Yep.
have a board of trustees.
Which you need, actually, to verify your nonprofit status.
Right,
Yep.
yes, yeah. You need all of that to legitimize your nonprofit status
Exactly,
to the
yep.
IRS.
And other members as well? Can you become a member of the museum?
Oh yes,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, we have a pretty good membership. We have about 140 members right now.
Okay.
The amazing thing is we were up to about 175, but due to the pandemic, we really lost about 40 people.
Is that right?
Yeah. So the pandemic really hit us as far as even membership
Yeah.
went. You know.
So you're still coming back from
So we're
that?
still coming back. You know. So we got about it's about maybe 135 now that
Okay.
are actual dues-paying members. You know?
Right.
And the thing is, that's really what supports us.
Yes.
We're a membership-driven museum.
Yep.
You know, we get no outside support from the city, or we have got some granting from different projects we have done from community preservation. But other than that, as far as the museum itself, we have no external funding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you exist
So it's all
solely
member-driven.
on donations.
Yeah.
And visitors obviously will donate as well if they
Visitors, yeah.
if they're inclined to, right?
It's free. Admission is free.
Right.
We don't charge anything.
Right.
You know, even all our demonstrations and presentations are all free. You know,
Yes.
but again, people do donate, which helps us, pays the bill,
Yeah.
pays the electric bill anyways. You know.
And you do have some professionals in the field that come and speak, I know.
We do. We have a geologist who's a member, Les Terralla,
Right.
who does a great job. We have a geology presentation at least once a year. Sometimes we like to do it twice a year because it draws so many people. So many people are interested in really the geology of Quincy Granite, or where it came from, how it got here.
Okay.
What makes it up. So Les does a great job as a presentator. And we do other presentations. We do stone splitting demonstrations. We do stone finishing demonstrations. And that draws a great crowd too, which is good.
Yeah. Do you work with the schools at all, Al, to kind of continue the history and teach them about the city's past?
We haven't really get into the schools right now, but
Okay.
this year here we're going to try to get into the schools more. I
Yeah.
know, and I think the 4th and 5th grade here in Quincy, they start to develop. They do a little geology. They do a little more history of Quincy. I think we're going to try to get involved, again, touch base with the city of Quincy, the school department, and see
Okay.
if we can, attract them either.
Well, I mean, it's living history. It's a living museum
Right, yeah,
of the city's
yeah.
past, so that they are residents
They're
of.
residents,
So what
yeah,
better way to
yeah.
teach them about it than to actually show them and let them split a stone, perhaps, right?
Right. And the thing is, we get so many different immigrants that came, into the city right now.
Yeah.
That really don't know the history, the granite history, what really formed Quincy back, at the turn of the century.
Yes. Yep.
So we'd like to get that out to the 4th and 5th and 6th graders.
Sure. You brought, as always, a little show and tell.
Yeah, always have a show and
Love to
tell.
have some pictures to show folks. Yeah, and some really neat ones too. So let's dive
Sure.
right into them
Yeah,
and tell us
yeah.
what we're looking at.
Well, this is a picture actually of the Quincy Quarry Railroad. We actually had a quarry railroad here in Quincy. It was called the Quincy Quarry Railroad. It actually serviced the granite industry in the West Quincy area. We had about between 6 and 7 miles of actually rail track laid up in West Quincy.
Really?
And
This is before the inclined
this is
railway?
before the incline,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And it actually brought granite down to the New York, New Haven, and Hartford line that was at the West Quincy Depot, the old granite branch of the New York, New Haven, and Hartford.
Where was that located, Al?
Right at the Curry Hardware, right
Oh,
in that
okay.
area. That was the old West Quincy Depot where the Granite Railway came through.
Okay.
So the Quincy Quarry Railroad actually came down to that, and then the granite from there was shipped on the railway throughout the country.
Okay, so what we're looking at now, this would be underneath the expressway,
No,
essentially.
no, this is actually coming down from the quarry right now.
Oh, from the quarry, okay.
They'd call this the big fill. It was a big fill area that they had as they come around from the Swingles Quarry area, they had to
Okay.
fill in to make that big round curve there.
I see.
So that's just a shot of the Quincy Quarry Railroad on the big, what they call the big curve, coming down to the New York, New Haven, and Hartford
Okay.
rail spur.
And these are cars loaded with
Cars
granite,
would
right?
loaded with granite, yeah.
Okay, that had just been quarried. from-
Quarried, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Who knew? Well, you knew.
This is another display we did during the pandemic. Tom Bonomi, our historian, a great model maker. He actually made a model of the actual first commercial rail car in Quincy.
Oh, he made this.
He made this.
Wow.
He actually made this scale model of it. And he actually made a scale model of the actual rail bed of the Quarry Railroad, the Granite Railway,
Yeah.
which was great. And we had time to, he had time to actually do this during the
Wow.
pandemic.
I know he's quite a historian. He's also quite an artist.
He is,
Yeah.
like I say, as far as making models, he's unbelievable.
That's
you know.
amazing. And this is in the museum right
This
now?
is in the museum. This is a new display we started basically up this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so folks can see that. Very good.
Yeah.
What's up next?
Actually, this is a picture of a woman at our stone splitting demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
We actually we pre-drill the granite, and then we let people actually put the feather and wedges in the stone and actually hammer the feather and wedges and actually split the granite themselves.
Yep.
So everybody has an opportunity to actually split Quincy granite.
Okay.
I mean, it's great. The women really love it, and the kids really love
I
it.
bet they do. Yeah.
They really love it. You know,
Look at
it's-
me. I just split a stone.
Stone, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like you're beating Mother Nature when you split a stone. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, you can see next to her left foot there that is a split stone, right?
Split stone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And she's hammering away there, splitting her piece of granite. This really draws a good crowd for
Yeah.
us. You know, again, you can see that there's a woman basically handicapped in a wheelchair
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and the area right now is really set up that we can really handle somebody in a wheelchair around the turning mill.
Well, that's
you
good to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. This method is still used today.
It's still used today. It was
Yeah.
used, well, it goes back in history. It goes back to the Egyptians.
Right.
The Egyptians were splitting stone basically with similar, things like this.
Process, yeah.
Process.
Yeah, it is, and it's quite empowering too. You know,
Yeah,
when you can
yeah.
just with your own two hands and a couple of simple tools, really,
Simple tools, yeah.
split a piece of granite. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, what's up next?
This is actually a shot of the first commercial railroad. This is the terminus of the first commercial railroad in America, the Granite Railway.
Okay.
It's on DCR property. It's up at the end of Bunker Hill Lane. And why I brought these shots in, the stone splitting, the Granite Railway, the inclined plane, the geology presentation, the Quarry Railroad, these are all actually walks we're going to do this year here,
Oh, okay.
and we've done in the past. And each one of these slides are representing of one of the walks that we're really doing. This would be representing one of the Granite Railway walk. We do the original Granite Railway walk, and this
Okay.
is actually the terminus. So we bring people right down to the terminus of the actual Granite Railway.
Okay.
And then we'll bring them down basically to the inclined plane railway,
Yes.
which was part of the original Granite Railway. It wasn't the Granite Railway, but it was a part of
It's
it,
like a spur of it.
like a spur of it.
Okay.
Yeah. They brought granite down to the Granite Railway from Pine Hill Ledge. you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So people get a chance to visit the actual first commercial railroad and also the inclined plane railway.
I see.
Yeah.
So this is the bed, I'm guessing.
This is the bed. Yeah.
Okay,
This
yeah.
shows the bed of the actual incline rail, the Granite Railway as it was going off through the woods.
Are the rails still there? Or are
The
they buried?
the rails aren't there
They're
because
not.
the rails were actually wooden.
Oh,
so
really?
They're all completely gone.
Oh, okay.
But the actual cross ties, the old granite cross ties,
Yeah.
as you can probably
I
see
can see them off to the right there.
to
yeah.
the right,
Yeah.
yeah, they're actually still there. You know,
Okay.
so there is actually something to actually see visibly of the actual commercial first railroad
Yeah.
in America.
And this is preserved. This is state property. It's preserved.
It's on MD. It's on DCR property,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we have a couple more to show. Oh yes.
Again, this is a shot of the Granite Railway quarry.
Okay.
And this is we do an actual Granite Railway quarry walk. You know, what we do is we have actual pictures of what the quarry looked like back at the turn of the century.
Yeah.
And we actually walk people around, and you're standing in that exact spot where this picture is taken. So you're actually visually looking at what this quarry looked like at the turn of the century.
Really?
Or what particular spot you were standing, it looked like at the turn of the century.
Okay.
All connected to the granite industry.
Yeah. Where did you get these? Like specifically a photo like this? Al, you know, from history.
Photo like this, actually, it's great. We have great cooperation with the Quincy Historical Society,
Okay.
Ed Fitzgerald and that gang.
Yep.
And the Thomas Crane Public Library right here. We've got many of our pictures that they've shared with us. You
Okay.
know? Because basically we started with zero as far as
I know.
when
You
we
had,
started
didn't
out.
have a location.
Didn't have a
It was just
location, we didn't have
an
a picture,
idea.
We didn't have nothing,
Right.
just an idea. So most of these pictures came from either the Historical Society, they shared them with us, or the Thomas Crane Public Library.
Okay.
And we have got a lot of photos that people have donated to us,
Yes.
you know what I mean, that they've had in their family notebooks and things. The beauty of the computer is, Joe, we can blow them up and we can give these people back their original,
Right.
and then now we've got these pictures forever because we digitize them and we have them forever now, you know.
Not only pictures, but tools, artifacts.
Yeah.
All kinds of things that folks have probably had in their cellars, their sheds, their basements, you
Right,
know, backyards or whatever. Never know what to do with them. Didn't have the heart to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Now there's a place.
Speaking of backyards, I got a call this last weekend. In fact, it was Friday. I got a call from a woman. She says, gee, I got this big ground granite thing in my backyard. She says, would you be interested in it? I said, well, I have no idea what it is.
Right.
I says, but anything, if you say it's granite and it's round, I says, we'd be interested. So I took a ride down. It was right down here in South Street.
Oh,
What it was back then they did these rollers, these lawn, like you'd call it a lawn roller, or they used it as a road roller.
Okay.
It was a big round granite cylinder
Okay.
with a big handle on it. You know, it was about 3 feet long and it was about 1.5 feet in
oh, okay.
diameter.
Yeah, I know what you
It
mean.
was made out of Quincy granite.
Really?
So we were really interested. So we actually got that artifact that was made back maybe at the turn of the century as a roller to roll the street, to roll the yard.
Yeah, like a today's steamroller, right? Only
like
the
today's steamroller,
handheld version.
Like it was
yeah.
a handheld, yeah.
Wow.
So we got that. So that's another little artifact that we pick up that somebody just called this weekend.
Yeah.
You know, so
And you wouldn't think anything of it otherwise, right?
otherwise, yeah.
Well, that's great.
If she didn't call and somebody might have just discarded it, it was just a big piece of round rock, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, it's a way for these families that were in the granite industry to preserve that legacy.
Preserve that
right?
legacy,
You
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
let it teach the
we'll
next
always
generation.
put, you know, when we show this artifact, the artifact will definitely be up at the museum.
Okay.
You know, the person who actually donated to us, you know, we'll put their name as a donation.
Yes.
You know, right on the article.
Yeah. I think it's great. I
Yeah,
really do. You know,
yeah.
I mean, it would otherwise be lost.
Be lost.
You know,
yeah.
if we didn't have the USS Salem at the shipyard,
Same way.
would you know that shipbuilding was so huge
Yeah,
in Quincy?
yeah.
So things like this that are tangible, you know,
Yeah.
Photographs are one thing, but to actually see
See,
products
yeah,
that
yeah.
were created is a whole other story.
other story.
Probably a great way to tell a story to kids too.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Any plans to expand?
Well,
Yes?
we always waiting for that, $1 million to drop out of the sky. We're always
Well, these
waiting
days
for
it'd have to be $2 million now because prices have
prices
gone up.
have gone
so-
up. Yeah. But we had an archaeological survey done this last year, and
Okay.
they did a PAL out of Rhode Island. They did a complete archaeological survey of the whole Lion Churning Mill area, and they designated all the areas that were historically sensitive.
Okay.
So we've got an area now that is not historically sensitive, at the Lions Churning Mill site.
Okay.
So that's where we'd love to build a little bigger building, because
Okay.
we have many, many artifacts that we've got stored that we'd really like to get out there.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So again, our vision is to build a little bigger building, but
All right.
we need basically funding for
Okay.
that. So we're always looking for funding, and we're always trying to move forward of it. As they say, we're chipping it away at it, but don't take anything for granted.
I have no doubt that you'll achieve it, Al, because when this first started, you didn't even think you'd get to where you are today.
That's
So,
correct, Joe. You're right.
I'm
yeah.
sure you will. I'm sure you'll achieve that. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Really
Joe,
appreciate it.
it's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Get this information about our museum out there.
Absolutely. It's open the first weekend of every month, right?
First weekend of every month, or any special requests. Anybody just give us a call, and one of our members will go up there and open it up and give you a tour of the museum or the Lions Churning Mill.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks again, Al.
Thank you, Joe.
You are welcome. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day. Today, it's back to winter time, maybe more flurries around this afternoon. Brisk and cold, only in the low 30s down to the teens this evening. A little better tomorrow. If we hit 40 degrees, we'll be doing good. Lots of sunshine. A little warmer on Wednesday with clouds and sun near 50, and then some rain here on Thursday with temperatures up in the low 60s. Thanks again to Al Bina for joining us from the Quincy Quarry and Granite Workers Museum.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching Friday here in the program. We're going to welcome the Friends of Faxon Park. Hope you can join us for that. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a good week.